Imagine you're sitting in traffic in Beverly Hills, and a silver Kia whips past. You catch him on your phone, evading police like something out of a movie. But here's the twist, there's a 2-month-old baby in the backseat. What happens next? Stay tuned, you won't believe how this unfolds. What you'll discover in the next 10 minutes. The jaw-dropping live stream, the wild manhunt, heartbreaking pleas from inside the car, and the shocking moment that changed everything. Late afternoon, July 17, 2024, Beverly Hills, bustling, upscale, and anything but expecting drama. Cannon Drive and Charleville Avenue, high-end cars, valet stands, calm suburbia. But beneath the calm, something explosive is brewing. Security feeds capture 2 masked men approaching a Mercedes at gunpoint. They steal a Rolex, a phone, and jewelry. Calculated. No hesitation. Then, the getaway. One suspect jumps in a Hyundai. A second fleet approaches a silver Kia, carjacks it at gunpoint, and speeds off, with a mother and her infant daughter in the backseat. Authorities trace the weapons. The baby? 2 months old. This is no ordinary robbery, it's chaos in progress. Hawthorne PD to LA County, possible carjacking from armed robbery. Plates tracked to Hyundai and Kia. Officers dispatch. Dash cam shows Kia taking off at 60 to 70 miles per hour, weaving through traffic, running red lights, even driving against rush hour flow. At first, deputies think the stolen Kia contains only the robbers. But as the chase continues, screams echo from inside, "Pull over. Daiyaan. My baby is in the car." Viewers see snapshots from the live stream. Baby seat, a terrified mother begging. They'll wonder, what kind of man would risk all this, for attention? As the chase barrels on, the suspect begins live streaming on Instagram. We watch over his shoulder, sirens in the rear view, traffic whizzing by, his daughter strapped in a rear-facing seat. He laughs. The girlfriend whimpers beside him. "Just stop, please," comments fly online. "Stop it, you're killing your child." Been live streaming an armed escape while endangering a baby. This is not just reckless, it's criminal insanity. Social media erupts. Clips go viral. That baby was just a human shield to this sack of garbage. Emotions flare. Outrage, horror, disbelief. Hawthorne PD calls in reinforcements, LASD, Culver City PD, helicopter backup. They adapt, contain the chase to surface streets, avoid freeway chaos. Spike strips are ruled too risky with an infant on board. Chase route traced, Beverly Hills, Hawthorne, South LA, Inglewood, Culver City, Blair Hills, dead end. Multiple units set blocking positions. This wasn't a pursuit to catch a robber, it was a rescue mission. We needed to protect that child. Behind the scenes, detectives comb records. They learn the driver is 21-year-old Daiyaan Henderson, a convicted felon with multiple warrants. The girlfriend? Victim and hostage both. They track the second suspect car that split off, 2 arrested earlier in South LA. Key unresolved questions. Why livestream? Was it narcissism? A plea for notoriety? Or an impulse so severe it overrode all survival instincts? Why risk the child? Was the mother forced in? Did he believe she could protect him? Opportunity or planning? Carjacking an occupied vehicle, did he think he could pull it off unnoticed? Professional psychologists weigh in. Some say it's impulsive desperation, others pure ego, see me run, syndrome. But nobody understands a parent risking their child like this. The chase enters Blair Hills, a quiet residential neighborhood. Suddenly, it's a dead end. Daiyaan is boxed in. Tense silence. He clutches his daughter. The camera shakes. He starts talking to negotiators. And this is what chills your bones. "I got my baby. She's all that matters." He kisses her forehead. He helps the mother out. Then, he drops to his knees, arms raised. They surrender. No gunfire. No crash. He emerges, baby in arms. The camera zooms in, second by second. Then he faces the deputies. He's alive. She's alive. And they brought her out alive. At the impromptu news conference that evening, Deputy Adriana Martinez cradles the baby, comforting her until calm returns. Deputy Tony Lomedico, in austere tone, reiterates officers' shock that he was live streaming with his kid, like it was entertainment. Charges against Daiyaan Henderson: kidnapping, child endangerment, carjacking, armed robbery, felony evading. Held without bail. 2 accomplices are arrested, the victim's valuables recovered. The baby is medically cleared and returned to her mother. But this chaos raises haunting questions. How many red flags were ignored? How many more lives are at risk when desperation meets digital addiction? The public reaction didn't slow. Advocacy groups pushed for tougher charges in live-streamed crimes. Police departments across LA re-examined carjacking protocols involving hostages. News outlets asked, is social media turning criminals into influencers of danger? With Livestream, it's like playing a game of one-upmanship with law enforcement, and the lives inside that car are stakes in a public theater. This case sparked legislation proposals: increased penalties for live broadcast felonies, plus grants for police to develop social media-aware pursuit tech. But real-world impact? Authorities and content platforms are still figuring it out. Daiyaan Henderson, 21. Criminal record dating to a home invasion robbery from a year earlier, also live-streamed. Friends describe him as a quiet kid until the streets took over. Small-time dealer turned armed robber. The mother, early 20s. Unidentified publicly, victim and object of affection. Their child, the daughter, born 2 months earlier. Emotions: love, fear, love again. Held hostage, perhaps heart, held hostage too. Hawthorne police and LASD deputies. This pursuit is used in training: how to chase when victims are inside, how to coordinate cross-jurisdictionally under live social scrutiny. This wasn't just a random LA chase. It's part of a dangerous trend. Live-action robberies. Social media glorified violence. Young criminals who see fame, consequences. In LA alone in 2024, carjackings rose 40%. Armed robberies up 25%. Many involved live streams or viral clips. Police chiefs warn, this is not entertainment. It's a public safety crisis. Daiyaan Henderson is behind bars. The baby is safe. The accomplices face justice. Los Angeles breathes a sigh of relief. But one haunting question remains. Who uploaded the full live stream? And more chilling, did he erase footage that might hold final answers? Could he have hidden gold in that feed? Comments, locations, conspirators? And more importantly, what's coming next, behind those TikTok shadows? Next time on Part 2, we dig into the live stream feed. We uncover a possible third getaway driver. And we ask, has the most dangerous moment already been skipped in plain sight? Like, subscribe, hit bell. Because when LA criminals go viral, the real story is just beginning. The footage was shocking. But what came after was even more disturbing. 2 days after Daiyaan Henderson was taken into custody, LAPD's Cybercrimes Division finally got access to his Instagram account. What they found wasn't just a live stream, it was a digital breadcrumb trail pointing to a broader, more dangerous web. And that baby in the backseat? She may have saved lives, but her presence wasn't an accident. Detectives expected a single video. What they found were 4 deleted streams, dozens of encrypted DMs, and a group chat titled, Get Paid LA. The members? Daiyaan. 2 arrested accomplices. And a third account, anonymous, untraceable, and still active. But before we go there, we have to rewind to the final seconds of the livestream. Just before Daiyaan surrendered, right after the kiss on his daughter's forehead, he whispered something. So soft it went unnoticed during the chaos. Cybertext enhanced the audio. The words? Tell Manny we made it. Who was Manny? Detectives pulled up Dayaan's prior records. No known associates by that name. None of the accomplices mentioned anyone called Manny during questioning. But when one officer ran a search through social media mentions tied to the @DayaanOfficialsST tag, a different story emerged. A burner account had posted, "You did good. Drop went through. Let it cool." The username? That Manny wired up. The account had 0 followers. One post. No bio. But it was linked to a prepaid phone purchased 48 hours before the robbery. The implication was chilling. Daiyaan wasn't just panicking or acting out of desperation. He may have been following orders. The theory gained traction when forensic techs reviewed footage from traffic cams in Inglewood 15 minutes before the chase began. Behind the silver Kia, a black Dodge Charger appears, matching the description of a car seen circling the robbery site 30 minutes earlier. Same make, same temporary plates. It never joined the pursuit, but always stayed within 2 blocks. Then it vanished. Detectives now believed this Charger could be connected to Manny, or worse, the getaway vehicle for someone higher up in the organization. LAPD ramped up surveillance efforts, requesting metadata from social apps, burner phone companies, and VPN providers. But progress was slow. Meanwhile, the public obsession with the case exploded. Hashtags trended. TikTok detectives speculated about Manny, the baby, the mother. One theory posted by a popular crime channel claimed the mother wasn't a victim, but a willing accomplice. It didn't take long for that theory to spiral. Commenters pointed to her calmness during the livestream, the fact that she never physically struggled. Even though she cried and pleaded, she never tried to escape when the car slowed at red lights. Some even claimed she looked directly into the camera, intentionally. Of course, trauma responses vary. Police insisted she was a victim. But behind closed doors, internal documents suggested investigators were beginning to have doubts. Her name, still withheld from the public, had ties to a prior domestic dispute involving Daiyaan. That case was dismissed, but detectives now wanted to re-interview her. That same week, while sifting through Daiyaan's jail calls, they caught another thread unraveling. One call, placed to a cousin, included this cryptic line. "She ain't gonna say nothin'. She knows what's at stake." Suddenly, the focus shifted again. What exactly was at stake? It was around this time that detectives uncovered a Venmo trail, a series of micropayments labeled gas, nanny, boost, and gift, between Daiyaan's account and 3 others tied to the Get Paid group chat. But the money wasn't coming from Daiyaan. It was going to him. And one of the payers? An address in Boyle Heights registered to a 62-year-old ex-convict named Hector Alvarez, a man with known cartel connections and a sealed FBI file. Alvarez had disappeared in 2019 after making a deal with federal agents, only to re-emerge quietly under house arrest last year. What was a man like that doing sending $500 to a 21-year-old petty felon? It didn't add up until they found a name in an old DEA sting document, Manuel Alvarez, Hector's youngest son, nicknamed Manny. Now everything locked into place. Daiyaan wasn't just robbing at random. He may have been part of a calculated, multi-tier robbery ring, one designed to make cash fast, stay anonymous, and use distractions like live streaming to overwhelm police response. But if that was true, what else had they gotten away with? 2 detectives, Corporal Reeve and Sergeant Omar Delgado, dug into similar cases from the past 8 months. 4 high-end robberies. 2 involving evasive getaways. 1 with a live stream that mysteriously vanished before police could intervene. All of them within 5 miles of each other. All involving stolen jewelry, high-speed escapes, and phones that went dark within minutes. All potentially connected to one account at Manny Wired Up. But Manny had never shown his face. Never used his real name. Never even posted an image online. Until now. A break came when facial recognition flagged a man buying prepaid SIM cards in East LA, same day as the robbery. The CCTV still wasn't clear, but the system flagged a 76% match to Manuel Alvarez based on previous juvenile mugshots. The man wore a hoodie, kept his face low. But he made one mistake. He used a loyalty card to get a $10 discount. Registered name, Hector Alvarez. Email alias, m_7 ****. When officers pulled up security footage from the parking lot, their jaws dropped. The black Dodge Charger. Same plates. Waiting outside. Police now believe Manny was coordinating everything from afar, real-time, encrypted using burner phones and chat servers. He never touched the scene. But he might have been directing the entire chase like a video game, watching the chaos unfold. Warrants were issued. Task forces deployed to stake out the Boyle Heights house. But by the time they arrived, the residence was empty. No signs of forced exit. No fingerprints. Only an unplugged security system and one chilling clue. A burner phone left behind. On it, a single message. This was just the dress rehearsal. Curtains about to rise. The phone powered off 11 seconds later. And then, silence. Until 24 hours later, when LAPD received a call from a pawn shop owner near Crenshaw. A man came in trying to sell a Rolex that matched the serial number from the Cannon Drive robbery. When the shop assistant stalled, the man fled, but not before being captured on camera. He wore a hoodie, kept his head down. But beneath the sleeve, a faint tattoo could be seen, a theater curtain. Parted. Beneath it, a number, 3.15. Police are now racing to decode the meaning. A date? A countdown? A warning? What is Manny planning next? Who else is involved? And was the baby in the car the only one he ever needed to get away? Because now, it seems, this wasn't about robbery. It was about spectacle. And if this was the rehearsal, then what's coming next? The theater tattoo. The numbers 3.15. A burner phone with the words, "This was just the dress rehearsal." To the public, it looked like the case was nearing its end. The suspect, Daiyaan Henderson, was behind bars. His daughter was safe. His accomplices were in custody. The city could breathe again. But for LAPD's Special Task Force, it was only the beginning. Investigators were now convinced this wasn't just a botched robbery. It was a planned operation, possibly the latest act in a long series of crimes designed not just for money, but for showmanship. A performance. And someone was directing it all from the shadows. They called him Manny. The tattoo sighting near Crenshaw, a theater curtain with the date 3.15, led detectives to revisit every criminal case tied to that day. March 15th. The Ides of March. What they found startled them, a robbery from exactly 2 years earlier. March 15th, 2022. Location, a West Hollywood art gallery. 3 masked men stole 5 pieces valued at over $2.6 million. Surveillance showed precision, silence, coordination. At the time, it was assumed to be a one-off heist. But in retrospect, it had eerie parallels. A black Dodge Charger parked near the scene. Security footage that cut out 5 minutes before the robbery. A citywide chase that ended when the suspects simply vanished. The case was never solved. Until now, it had been all but forgotten. But one name came up again, Manuel Alvarez, Manny. The gallery's curator, when re-interviewed, revealed something strange. A week before the heist, a man had visited posing as a theater director looking for artwork to decorate a film set. He never gave his full name. Just introduced himself as Manny. Said he was scouting moods for a heist scene. The curator described him as mid-20s, lean, shaved head, soft-spoken, and disturbingly calm. He left behind no ID, no contact number, but paid in cash. Crisp hundreds. New bills. And then he was gone. Now, investigators were looking at a man who didn't just commit crimes. He orchestrated them like scenes from a play. He planted symbols. He left clues. He used real people as actors. Victims became props. Robberies became performances. And the public? His audience. The more they dug into Manny's background, the more questions arose. Court records revealed he'd been arrested once as a teen for cyberstalking a classmate. He'd created a fake online persona and convinced a group of students to confront her in real life, all while live-streaming it anonymously from a distance. Even back then, it was about manipulation. About pulling strings without being seen. But the case was sealed. Charges dropped. The trail went cold, until the events in Beverly Hills reignited it. Back in the present, LAPD's cyber division traced a pattern in Manny's movements. He'd used an encrypted app known on the dark web as EchoFox, a messaging platform favored by cybercriminals and traffickers. His burner phones pinged near the same 4 cell towers in South Central LA. Always between midnight and 4 a.m. Always just for a few minutes. So police set a trap. For 5 nights, they deployed plainclothes officers disguised as homeless individuals and utility workers. They used drone surveillance, heat sensors, and decoy Wi-Fi signals. On the sixth night, they got a hit. At 3:41 a.m., a figure stepped into the alley behind a boarded-up video store off Florence Avenue. He carried a duffel bag, walked with confidence, didn't look around. He placed the bag beneath a rusted dumpster and walked away. Officers waited. 5 minutes. Then they moved in. The bag contained 3 burner phones, a silver USB drive, a folded hoodie with the theater tattoo design, and a prop gun, realistic but non-functional. The USB drive was the key. It contained encrypted folders labeled Rehearsal _7, Curtain _, Act 3 _screens. Each folder had videos. Dozens of clips, stitched together like found footage. A virtual play. One video showed Daiyaan rehearsing lines in an empty parking garage. Another showed someone, face blurred, planting a fake security camera outside a jewelry store. The most chilling clip? A time-stamped video of the robbery, recorded from the inside of the black Dodge Charger. It wasn't a live stream. It was a pre-recorded cut, professionally edited. Background music. Jump cuts. Titles. Manny hadn't just filmed the crimes. He had produced them. Detectives now had enough to issue an official warrant for Manuel Alvarez, charging him with criminal conspiracy, aiding and abetting, endangering a minor, and obstruction of justice. But they still didn't know where he was. That changed when the FBI got involved. An agent working out of Quantico's behavioral analysis unit, Special Agent Lena Kovacs, reviewed Manny's files and made a psychological prediction: Manny would not flee. He'd return for the finale. He's a showman, she said. He's not running. He's building to something. So they watched the date, 3.15, closely. March 15th was 2 weeks away. Security doubled across every major LA art gallery, auction house, and private jewelry venue. Police warned banks to increase protocols. Social platforms were monitored for keywords: curtain, act, finale, ticket. Then, 2 days before the 15th, a chilling post appeared on an anonymous crime forum. Opening night. Limited seating. No refunds. It was followed by GPS coordinates. An abandoned theater on the outskirts of downtown LA. Shut down for asbestos. Condemned. Forgotten. The address? 315 Delacroix Street. 3.15. 315. Police moved in fast. SWAT, FBI, ATF. They breached at dawn. The theater was empty. But on the main stage sat a mannequin. Dressed like Daiyaan. Baby doll in one hand. Toy pistol in the other. And hanging above it in huge painted letters: "You missed the show." But there was one more clue. Taped beneath the mannequin's foot was a postcard. A theater ticket. One way. No exit. Stamped with a foreign airport code. Jaru. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Interpol was alerted. Alerts were issued to international airports. But by then it was too late. A man matching Manny's description boarded a flight from Mexico City to Sao Paulo just 12 hours earlier, traveling on a forged passport. Security footage showed him smiling at the gate, carrying a backpack with "Director" embroidered on the strap. He vanished into South America. Just like that, LAPD closed the case, publicly at least. Daiyaan Henderson and his crew were convicted. The mother refused to testify. The baby, now in protective custody, will never know the full story. But the theater tattoo remains unsolved. The USB footage has yet to be fully decrypted. And law enforcement officials believe that somewhere, right now, Manny is planning his next production. And if he's, it's not a question of if he'll return. It's a question of what show he'll stage next. If this story gripped you, if the truth behind the chase shook you, then don't just watch from the sidelines. Like this video to help expose the story further. Subscribe so you never miss the next real case we uncover. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Manny will strike again? Was this all a performance, or something darker? Your voice helps us keep the truth alive. Because in this world, the story doesn't end when the camera cuts.